Speaker number one.
Yes. Allipio.
Allipio de Veyra. Christmas story weave. Christmas story weave. Allipio de Veyra.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, this is a story weave. It is the interweaving of three stories around a central holiday theme. So let us begin. Once upon a midnight clear, there was a child's cry. A blazing star hung over a stable, and wise men came bearing birthday gifts. We haven't forgotten that night down through the long centuries. We celebrated with stars on Christmas trees, with the sound of bells, and with gifts, especially with gifts. I give you a book, you give me a tie. Uncle Henry has always needed a winter coat, and Aunt Martha, well, she can use with a new blender. Oh, we forget no one, adult or child. All the stockings are filled. All that is, save one. One Christmas Eve, a good friend of mine, Steve, came out of his office in Chicago. And it was a typical Chicago winter, snow falling, a cold, bitter wind coming off of Lake Michigan. And as he hurried to his car, he saw the street urchin walking around his car, admiring the shiny new exterior. And as Tommy came up, the street urchin looked up at him and said, "Hey, mister, is this your car?" Tommy nodded. "Yes, my older brother gave it to me for Christmas as a gift." Street urchin said, "Wow, he gave this to you as a gift? Boy, I sure wish." Now, Tommy knew what the kid was going to wish for. He was going to wish that he had an older brother just like that. But when the kid replied, Tommy was shocked. For instead, the kid said, "Boy, I sure wish I could be a brother just like that." Tommy rocked on his heels, blurted out, "Hey, kid, would you like to come in my car for a ride?" The kid nodded, and they jumped in and took off. After a few minutes, the kid turned to Tommy and said, "Hey, mister, could you drive me home?" Tommy nodded. He knew what the kid wanted. He wanted to show off to all his friends and neighbors, shining up in this brand new car. But you see, Tommy would be proved wrong once again. The kid motioned. The car turned up the street and pulled up in front of the shabby-looking apartment building. The kid jumped out of Tommy's car, ran up the steps, and disappeared. I have a close friend, Susie. She teaches kindergarten class in this really poor school district. Now, she knew her kids didn't have much in terms of material possessions, so she asked them to draw a picture of something they could be grateful for. And all the kids eagerly went to their desks and started drawing with their crayons. And as Susie walked around, she looked down and saw the typical pictures of food and toys. But when she came to Charles' desk, she was amazed. For on it, Charles had drawn a crude drawing of the outline of a hand. But whose hand? All the kids gathered round and started guessing. "Why, it's a hand of Santa who brings the toys." No, a little girl said. "It's the hand of God who brings us food." After a few seconds, the kids went back to the desk and back to their own drawings. And Susie, intrigued, came over, looked down, and whispered to Charles whose hand it was. Charles, shy, squirmed in his seat, couldn't look his teacher in the eye, and said, "It's your hand, teacher." It was then that Susie remembered that she had often taken Charles, a shy, introverted kid, often by the hand during recess, for Charles had no friends. And Susie had done this for other shy, lonely children in her classes before, and she didn't think anything of it. But you see, to Charles, This had meant everything. So the kid jumped out of Tommy's car, ran up the steps, and disappeared. After a few minutes, Tommy heard the kid coming back, but he wasn't alone. He was carrying in his arms his crippled younger brother. He placed his younger brother on the stoop, squeezed in next to him, and pointed to Tommy's car. See, buddy, it's just like I told you. His older brother bought it for him for free. And one day, when I grow up, I'm going to buy one just like that for you, so you can see all the wonderful things in the Christmas windows. Tommy, with eyes streaming down his cheeks, stepped out of the car, came over, and gently picked up the crippled younger brother and gently placed him in the front seat. And the shiny-eyed older brother jumped in, and then all three of them took off for a memorable holiday ride. All the stockings are filled. All that is, save one. And you know, we have even forgotten to hang it up. A stocking for the child born on Christmas. It's his birthday, you know. Let us never forget that. So let us each gather and put in his share. Loving kindness, warm hearts, and the outstretched hand of tolerance. All the shining gifts that create peace on earth. Mr. Toastmaster.